local government chairmen in Rivers State. What we now have today are chairmen of caretaker committees of the local government.
Okay.
All right, Saka, just hold on, please. Don't go offline. Thank you very much. The difference between what the street people call a Jankara lawyer and a proper lawyer is our knowledge of the law, and which can be seen in the opinion we hold on legal issues. And I know my friend Iman Oka, that he studied law but has been practicing journalism, and so may have lost touch with current realities in law, but that is understandable. Now first, he said that there is no issue before the Court of Appeal. He had admitted earlier, and in law, I expect that a lawyer should live by the highest standard of ethics. He admitted earlier that Justice Akambi, because the matter had gone up, adjourned Synodine, and he said there's nothing before the Court of Appeal. I don't know if you follow that. He said so, that as he's speaking, there is nothing before the Court of Appeal. He said earlier that the court below, led by Justice Akambi's court, had adjourned Synodine because the matter had been taken upstairs. And that the same Justice Akambi said, please, parties maintain status quo so that it doesn't make the court helpless when the Court of Appeal gives its own ruling. And so, what higher court is he talking about? What Court of Appeal is he talking about?
Hold on. Since you're talking about that Court of Appeal matter, who took the case to the Court of Appeal?
RISEC.
RISEC took the case to the Court of Appeal.
And River State government.
And Justice Akambi adjourned Synodine.
Yes, waiting for the Court of Appeal.
Based on what Mr. Oka said, doesn't Justice Akambi, having or come to knowledge that the case has been withdrawn from the Court of Appeal, have a right to go ahead and adjudicate on this case?
The Court of Appeal had already set a date for October 12th. When was the case withdrawn? Now, mind you, there were also two other issues.
So you're saying the case was not withdrawn?
Of course. There are two other issues. BEI-104 SAN is the lawyer briefed by River State Independent Electoral Commission in writing. River State Independent Electoral Commission is an independent entity created by law. When Justice Akambi chose to reconvene to address the issue, the River State government appeared. Emmanuel Agoma, who is now Attorney General of River State, who was the lawyer of PDP then, one and the same person, appeared and said RISEC has debriefed BEI-104. BEI-104 said, I was not briefed by the Attorney General of Government of River State. I was briefed by an independent body, RISEC. Justice Akambi went ahead to rule that truly he has been debriefed by oral application before the court. 104 approached the Court of Appeal. That matter is still there. And so the issue of legal representation is even in context. Now, the matter having been adjourned to October 12th, at what point did they withdraw it? When they appeared before Justice Akambi, Justice Akambi did not say, oh, the issues before the Court of Appeal have been withdrawn, and so have been served notice. 104 was still the lawyer of RISEC. And nobody served him any notice. One who has not been debriefed. It's good to always say the truth. It makes us earn our respect as lawyers.
Okay, let me just read something out here. Akambi adjourned the matter after hearing from counsel to the state government and RISEC, who informed the court that he has entered an appeal to the Court of Appeal, challenging the jurisdiction of the court to handle the matter, and the motion on notice to restrain further injunctions proceeding on the matter. To Imaguma Council Appeal, the ruling of the court implies that INEC will not go ahead to give the voters register to any of the parties. That's what he said earlier. Aguma's position was countered by both RISEC and the ruling APC that said the ruling of the Federal High Court would not stop the conduct of the local government elections on May the 23rd. So that happened, and now this happened. But we're almost out of time, so let me come to him.
No, but it's important to mention that the Federal High Court, the Justice Akambi's Federal High Court, did not restrain RISEC from conducting elections.
But
no such order.
But they said, do not give the voter.
He never said so.
He didn't say so.
He never said so. I challenge anybody.
But Mr. Oka says they said so.
No, Mr. Oka even admitted that Justice Akambi said parties maintain status quo. RISEC had the register already.
So maintain status quo, does it mean conduct
continue with the elections?
No, if the question,
hold on to your...
If the question was register, don't give register.
No,
and the man has the register.
Maintain status quo, does it mean...
Keep the register you have.
Does it mean conduct
if
elections?
If the issue was not conduct of elections...
Okay, keep the register you have and use it for elections, or keep it.
And stay.
And stay.
Now see, the question is
hold.
This. The question is this. Don't release register. And the people from point one in their reply said, we have the register already.
No, Mr. Peters, just answer the question. Maintain status quo. Does it mean keep the register and hold the elections, or keep the register and stay?
Now, that's subject to your own interpretation. The matter is simple.
Well, obviously, the issue at hand was the conduct of the elections. The main issue wasn't actually the registers. The issue was, don't release the registers because we don't want elections to hold. And then if there comes an order that says maintain status quo, and you have the register, shouldn't you hold on to the register and wait?
If a judge gives an opinion different from giving an order, I want us to also draw a distinction between the two. Now, the judge, in saying that, look, this matter has been taken upstairs. Now, Emma Alka also said there's nothing before the Court of Appeal. How did the parties get a date? There would have been exchange of brief. Parties have been notified. That's how the Court of Appeal gave us a date, or gave parties a date.
Okay, because we're out of time, let's get the legal side, and then the two of you will give your closing statement so that we'll go, because we're looking at the way forward. We have three courts here in question. The Federal High Court, the National Industrial Court have given their own rulings. The Court of Appeal that supposedly has a case and supposedly doesn't have a case to look at. There's an injunction and there's no injunction. Maintain status quo, hold on to it, don't do anything. Don't give, we already have. What should be done legally to resolve all of this?
Basically, I think ultimately, probably the whole matter will turn on actually the exclusion or the non-joinder of the APC and the elected councillors and chairmen, you know, which again there's a Supreme Court decision on that to the extent that they are interested parties, because I understand that they also made the argument that they ought to be joined because these are people whose interests will be affected, who will be affected by the order. So if indeed we are not joined, I think that really will be the kernel of this whole controversy going forward. I want to believe that the court said maintain status quo, and but there's always a controversy on what maintain status quo. Every party wants to interpret it to its advantage. So I will not go into all the dialectics. But going forward, I think that really what should happen is that the independence of the state electoral commissions should be secured by a constitutional amendment. Because obviously you see, because really what happened in this matter was that the other council was briefed by the Governor Amaechi when he was in office.
Briefed by RISEC.
By RISEC, and then the state government, which was headed by Governor Amaechi. Now, Governor Wike came in and said, oh, well, I don't want you as my counsel. So he shoves the gentleman aside and then proceeds to court to say, so it was like PDP versus PDP now in court. So that was essentially what happened. So they took advantage of the fact that they were now in power to, remove the council, put the council that obviously was to the advantage, and then, but the issue again was actually whether there was a valid appeal, which, the court probably, the lower court probably ought to...
okay, Mr. Wadike, before you wind down, there was also an order that the state government should not meddle with the local government affairs. Now the governor has set aside the elected local government chairman, set up a caretaker committee.
Yes.
Is that legally binding to the people of the state? Because they actually went out and voted.
No, actually, they made a valid point to the extent that there's a difference between removing elected local government chairman, which, again, the court frowns very seriously on. For instance, the matter with Abia State, the 148 local government chairmen that were removed of course, the Supreme Court invalidated the removal, which is different from probably when a court makes a valid order saying that an election is invalid and that he hereby sets it aside, which is to the extent that, of course, the elected parties no longer have the requisite powers. So to that extent, those are really very clear, important distinctions. But like I said, going forward, securing the independence of the state electoral commissions, then, you know, granting them financial autonomy and all that, very important.
Okay, in this, we're winding down now. So your closing statement, the court says the state government should not interfere in local government, activities. The state government did not interfere. Another court dissolved the local government. Going forward, what do you want to see?
Now, I want us to situate this in context. Justice Akambi had a matter in his hand, and it was taken up to the Court of Appeal.
Mr. Peterside, we have to close. So
okay, well, for me, the solution is simple. Did Nyesom Wike preempt the decision of Justice Akambi's court to the extent that he prepared members of caretaker committee to be screened immediately after that ruling was given, sworn in immediately after that ruling was given? I smell a rat, and I'm sure many other persons do.
What do you want to see?
What I want to see is where, let's even assume that Justice Akambi's order is the best route to go. It's a court of first instance. The people have right to appeal to Superior Court. Okay. Why not wait for the Superior Court to come out with their own verdict?
All right. Ms. Oka, what do you want to say as we close?
Yes, I want to say first and foremost that it is better to be a Jankara lawyer than to be a courtist. First and foremost. Secondly, it is also important that people should allow judicial processes to run their course.
All right.
We have also seen in River State situations where the former administration headed by Chibuike Amaechi was swearing in caretaker committee chairman for about 2 years. Repeatedly, whenever they served out their tenures, they appointed fresh ones. And in some cases, they were sworn in at 12 midnight. And
all right, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. I will have to wind down on this note. So we are closing at this point on the River State local government council dissolution or the crisis, as the case is. Well, Mr. Emmanuel Oka, we thank you very much. The Commissioner for Housing, River State, we thank you for joining us on Sunrise, and we thank you for your thoughts. Also, Mr. Dakuku Peterside, the former governorship candidate for River State on the platform of the All Progressives. Still governorship candidate on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Thank you for joining us. We thank you so much for your thoughts on the matter. And Mr. Emmanuel Emeka Mwadike, I beg your pardon. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you. We'll be back in a moment. Please don't go away.